Everybody join in this melody.
Let us unite, let us unite.
That's the only way we're gonna be free.
Let us unite.
Everybody singing this sweet refrain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Sing this melody till it gets in your brain. Well, I'm talking to you, Muslim, Christian, and Hebrew. Anything to do, we got to unite, or else we are through.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Everybody singing this sweet refrain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Sing this melody till it gets in your brain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Everybody singing this melody.
Let us unite, let us unite.
That's the only way we're gonna be free. They're united in Ghana, Guinea, Mali, and Nigeria. All over Africa, the people are getting together. They're even uniting in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Angola. And Nkrumah's vision will light the world over from Cape to Cairo, one Africa.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Everybody singing this sweet refrain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Sing this melody till it gets in your brain.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Come on, do it tonight.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Brothers and sisters, let us unite.
There is a need for unity. The best for you and me. There is a need for unity. The best for you and me. Unity.
Everybody joining this melody. That's the only way we're gonna be free.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Come on, do it tonight.
Let us unite, let us unite.
Brothers and sisters, let us unite. Well, they're uniting in Cuba, Trinidad, Tobago, and Grenada, St. Kitts, Puerto Rico, and Jamaica. Let us unite in America. The yellow man moving in Asia, the red man awakening in India, the black man rising up in Africa. Let us jump up in America. Ha! Ha! Ha!
There is a need for unity. The best for you and me.
All of the nations of the earth as we speak are angry. They're angry because governments cannot suffice the needs of their people. They're angry because a few have gotten wealthy at the expense of the many. And the poor and the sick and the weak and the unlearned multiply. And the value of their lives are diminished by the rich and the powerful, so that when human life is devalued, that in the eyes of man you are unworthy of the gift of life, then it is easy for another human being to take the life of another human being that he or she has devalued. Black life in America is devalued. Hispanic life is devalued.
even poor white life is devalued. There's a way that I have to behave. I'm free, but I'm not free to rob you of yours. I'm not free to take from you what does not belong to me. So if I will construct my life according to these righteous principles, then between man and man, man and woman, peace. Between race and race, peace. Between rich and poor, peace. We have our beautiful Mexican family. This once was theirs. So you can't say to them they are aliens. That's a horrible word to use for former owners. I see my indigenous family here. Many tribes, but they're really one great nation of people that now must be reunited with themselves. So it's their time now, as well as ours, that God would intervene in our affairs and bring the bottom rail to the top. The government is not rehabilitating soldiers. When they send you away to kill. When you come home, they gotta reconstitute you for civilian life again. Make sure you have a job so you can take care of your family, but they're not doing it.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, a woman can do anything that a man does, and the only thing he forbids the woman to do is the thing that degrades her. So how high can you go? High as you want to.
Why would God allow the female to wear his attributes if you can't be a manifestation of that attribute? Women, you got to be set free. What God has put within you must be cultivated, must be developed, and must be used for the advancement of a nation and a world. I said to myself, Mr. President, why the hell don't you go to the wicked police department? Why the hell don't you stand up and tell them that your killing of black youth and brown youth is not gonna hold no more? Why don't you stand up? God's world is in need of a truth that will set up a government where everybody can live in peace, under real freedom, real justice, and real equality.
You must come up with a morning routine that you do every single morning, or at least more mornings than not, that puts you in control of yourself and in control of your day. This is what I do, and I cannot explain the power that I get from starting my day off and being bigger than my excuses and being in control. First and foremost, wake up on time. When that alarm goes off, get your butt out of bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Why is that important for persistence? The reason why is because the first decision that you're making of the day is to actually get up and get moving. That means you are persistently bigger than your excuses. You are persistently bigger than feeling lazy. And you are persistently beating the feelings that typically stop you. The second thing that I want you to do, before you look at your email, before you answer your phone, please, please, please figure out your 2 priorities for the day. These are the things that matter to you, whether it's saving money and making sure you're focused on that, or showing up at work and being a contributor, or whether it's changing how you treat your spouse or your kids or the person that you're with, or heck, getting to the gym because you said you would. Whatever it is that your 2 priorities are, put them in your head before you pick up the phone. Why? The reason why is because of persistence. The reason why is because I want you to have a good day. Do you know what makes for a bad day? What makes for a bad day is snoozing, starting your day off late, starting your day off tired, starting your day off by mainlining everybody else's news feed on social media and looking at everybody else's life and saying to yourself, oh my God, they're on vacation, or gosh, they look so great, or their friends are so fancy, or my gosh, they've got so money. You start off your day looking at that, you're never gonna have a good day. You gotta start off your day by getting up on time, figuring out your priorities, and then getting to work on them.
One of the commonalities, one of the patterns that you spot really quickly if you interview hundreds of world-class performers, and I just interviewed 130 or so for my new book, Tribe of Mentors, is the fact that they have consistent morning routines. They have some type of recipe, a boot up sequence that they use to win the day in some fashion. And it ranges from, for instance, mindfulness, and that could be mindfulness meditation, where you find, say, Evan Williams, who is well known for Blogger, Twitter, also Medium, who spends time every morning, as I do, with some type of meditative practice. Could be insight, it could be transcendental meditation. You could use an app like Headspace, which I think is a great place to start. And it trains you, it allows you to practice becoming more aware and less reactive so that you're not thrown off by the unexpected challenges and problems of the day. And that helps you to be much more productive and much more centered. You can achieve that in other ways. Gratitude is a common element. So Tim O'Reilly, who's just an incredible entrepreneur, thinker, writer, and thought leader in Silicon Valley, goes for a run and will take a photograph of a single flower on his run every morning, right? And this teaches you to pause and to assess how you're, say, responding to things. So that is a really beautiful practice that can be done with gratitude lists. I use something called the 5-Minute Journal, but Whitney Cummings, incredible stand-up comedian, writer, and much more, also has gratitude lists. And this is, say, naming 3 things that you're grateful for each morning. Tony Robbins does this. Brian Grazer, incredibly well-known, iconic TV and film producer, also does this. I think he's had 180 Emmy nominations or something like that. And that achieves very much the same thing of present state awareness and looking for the positive as opposed to fixating on the negative.
There's a reason why the visionary founder of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, rises before the sun. There's a reason why Michelle Obama rises very early. There's a reason why Tim Cook, who's leading Apple, gets up before the dawn. First of all, the hours between 4 and 6 are the time of least distraction in this age of dramatic interruption. Number 2, The hours before the sun rises is the period where your brain is most available to your primary creativity. So while you're sleeping, your brain actually washes itself, but also it lets go of the residue of the previous day while you are resting and while you are recovering. When you wake up, your thinking is fresh, your creativity is most pristine, you are most available to access your gifts and your talents. So those are some of the reasons why I encourage you to get up early. You might say, Robin, well, I'm not an early riser. I can't put mind over mattress. I can't win the battle of the bed. Grandma never got up early. Dad couldn't get up early. I guess I'm not the kind of person who can rise before the sun. And what I would suggest to you is simply this. What science confirms, and in particular the data of University College London, you do any new habit, practice it for 66 days, and you will arrive at the place of automaticity. In other words, it'll be easier to run the new habit than not to. 66 days of rising at 5 a.m. will get you to a place where it's easier to get up at 5 a.m. than not to get up at 5 a.m. You'll reach a place of automaticity. In my book, The 5 a.m. Club, I say all change is hard at first, and it's messy in the middle, and it's gorgeous at the end. So you can get up early. You can install habits. As a matter of fact, neuroplasticity, which is the phenomenon that speaks to the fact the brain is like a muscle. The more you flex it and push it, the more it's going to grow. You have that gift. It's not just for Federer and Serena Williams and Oprah Winfrey and Shakespeare and Jean-Michel Basquiat and Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. You have a brain that has the capability to grow and adapt. What is the 20-20-20 formula that lies at the core of the 5 a.m. Club method? Well, the first 20 minutes, move. Sweat. You'll release BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which will increase the neural connections of your brain, as well as repair brain cells damaged by stress, and also promote neurogenesis, which is the formation of new brain cells. I know this is a lot of information, but I want to give you great content in this video. Exercising for 20 minutes first thing in the morning from 5 to 5:20, the first part of the 20-20-20 formula, releases dopamine, which is the inspirational neurotransmitter. How valuable is that for your creativity and productivity for the rest of the day? Cortisol, the fear hormone, is highest first thing in the morning. Exercising will reduce it. Serotonin is released, so you'll feel happier. Now it's 5:20, you're full of energy, you've optimized your cognition, your focus is increasing. It's only 5:20, the rest of the world is asleep. Just imagine that advantage you already have. Second pocket of the 20-20-20 formula is all about reflection. We live in a world where people don't reflect anymore. A lot of people are busy being busy, but what's the point of being busy around the wrong things? So for 20 minutes from 5:20 to 5:40, you reflect, you pray or write in a journal, you meditate, you can visualize, you can script out a blueprint for a great day ahead, which habit researchers call a pre-commitment strategy, which actually increases your willpower and your ability to get your most important priorities done. Okay, now it's 5:40, from 5:40 to 6 o'clock. This is the final 20-minute pocket of the 20-20-20 formula. The first pocket was about move, the second is reflect, and the third is grow. I've coached billionaires and CEOs and NBA superstars and members of royalty for over 20 years. Here's what I've realized when I work with the best of the best. They love to learn. They love to grow. They don't see investing in yourself or investing in your skills or investing in your growth a cost. They think about the value received. So for 20 minutes, what do? You listen to a podcast, you review your journal notes, you read a book, you watch a valuable video, you just do something, you read an autobiography, you do something to grow your capacities and materialize more of the potential you have been born into.
Take 2 minutes and make your bed, because that's a success habit. right? If we're talking about positive momentum, the science momentum, getting things done, checking things off, doing it with excellence, then make your bed. It's worth the 1 or 2 minutes, because again, how you do anything is how you do everything. And to have a good check mark on something like making your bed is very powerful, because it teaches you to be able to do something really well in excellence like they do in the military.
I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do is inspect my bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better.
You must come up with a morning routine.
A number of years ago, Laurie Majors, my executive assistant, got a phone call from a lady in Birmingham, Alabama. At the end of the conversation, she said, Zig, she said, I believe this woman thinks she's got an impossible problem, but I believe you can solve that problem with her in just a few minutes if you will spend that time with her. I said, well, Laurie, tell her to meet me backstage. I'll get there about 10 minutes early. My schedule was such that was about all I had. Well, I got there, and I was on backstage behind the curtain on one side. She spotted me from the other side, and as she walked across the stage, I have never seen as much anger in a human being in my life as I saw in her. She almost started crying when she saw me. She said, oh, I'm just so glad to see you. I got this horrible job. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate everybody down there. I mean, you talking about negative nails. She was it. She said, can you help me? Now, understand, I've only got about 10 minutes. So I looked at her, and one thing I have learned, I don't do counseling, but I talk with a lot of people who do in psychology, psychiatry, and the ministry. And they tell me that everybody who comes to you with a problem are not necessarily looking for a solution. I couldn't understand that for a long time. Why do they bring you a problem if they don't want to solve it? Well, I can tell you why. They want to tell you about it, you about it, you about it, you about it, and you about it. And if you foul up the deal and solve the problem, they can't tell you again, you again. They want the attention that goes with the problem, and every company just about it has that kind of an individual. They want the attention that goes with griping and complaining. Well, I looked at the lady, and it wasn't unkindly, but firmly I said to her, yes, and you know, ma'am, I'm afraid your problem is about to get worse. She said, what do you mean? I said, I believe they're going to fire you. She was stunned. I couldn't have stunned her more if I'd hit her in the face with a bucket of ice water. She said, fire me? Why on earth would they fire me? The inflection in her voice clearly said, they're the bad guys. I'm the good guy. Why don't they fire them and keep me? Have you ever noticed that people who are the problem never recognize that they are? They're in complete denial. They think denial is just a river in Egypt. Why would they fire me? I said, ma'am, I don't believe there's a company in America big enough to contain this much poison in one small spot. Have you ever noticed that when somebody is about to lose something they've been complaining about, whether it's a car, a home, a mate, a job, or whatever, when all of a sudden it appears they're going to lose them, it takes on brand new value. She looked at me and said, well, what can I do? I said, do you really want to know? She said, yes, I do. That's the reason I came to see you. I came looking for help, but you sure haven't been any help so far. I said, well, ma'am, I've got an idea, and I will absolutely guarantee you it positively, definitely, absolutely will work if you will just do it. She said, I'll try anything within reason. I said, okay, when you get home tonight, all of your household tasks are complete. It's bedtime. Get off in a room right by yourself. Get a sheet of paper out, and at the top of it, write, I like my job because. She interrupted me. She said, that'll be easy. I don't like nothing about that job. Don't like nothing about those people down there. And I said, well, just as a matter of curiosity, do you work there for benevolent reasons, or do they pay you for working there? She said, well, I got to confess, they pay me. And I said, and you don't like to be paid? Oh, she said, yes, I do. I said, okay, tell you what you do. Open your notebook right now. We'll start our list of the things you like about your job. They pay you for working there, and you do like it, don't you? She said, absolutely. But she just stood there. I said, no, open your notebook now, and we'll get busy on the list. She just stood there. I said, ma'am, let me tell you what my experience in life has been. I've discovered that in 100% of the cases, no exception, people who won't take step number one never take step number two. You see, she had come to me with an impossible dream. Her dream was that nice Mr. Ziegler was going to solve all of her problems, and she would live happily ever after. Well, folks, I got news for you. I can't solve her problems. I can't solve your problems. But I will give you some steps that I'll absolutely, definitely, and positively will work for you, as it worked eventually for her. I said, well, ma'am, let me tell you something. Unless you're willing to take step number one right now, it's been nice talking with you. She angrily opened her notebook. Before we got through, there were 22 things she liked about her job. Not only did they pay her for working there, they paid her above average. She had 3 weeks vacation with pay. She had a retirement program. She was in on profit sharing. She had health insurance, life insurance, and accident insurance. She lived less than 10 minutes from home. She was in on management decisions. The company sent her to 3 seminars a year to be paid for. She had her own private office and parking place. 22 things that she liked about her job. Now, I said, ma'am, when you get home tonight, everything is finished. Get off in a room right by yourself. Close the doors. Change one word from I like my job to I love my job. Get in front of that mirror. And folks, I cannot say this strongly enough, but I'm going to try. The eyes are the windows of the soul. Look yourself in the eye, and with excitement and enthusiasm, say, I love my job because they pay me for working there. I love my job because they pay me above average for working there. I love my job because they have a wonderful insurance program. I love my job before every one of the statements. You will sleep better that night. You see, there's something hidden in what I'm saying to you now. When she says, I like my job, she's really saying, I'm grateful for my job. And of all of the emotions we can have, according to Hans Selye, the #1 stress specialist in America, the healthiest of all human emotions is gratitude. I said, you go down that list. I like my job. I love my job, rather. That is a way of gratitude. You'll sleep better the first night. Tomorrow morning, when you get up, get back in front of the mirror just before you go to work. Get back in front of the mirror and repeat the process again with excitement and enthusiasm. I love my job because, and take the list with you. Because the reality is, you see, you will have started to change from a fault finder to a good finder. Some people do really find fault like there's a reward for it. They really do. Take the list with you, and you will be able to add to that list, absolutely guaranteed. Do this every morning and every night, and you will have an astonishing recovery from this advanced case of stinking thinking. Now, I didn't say that to her, but I'm saying it to you. That's what it was. It was an advanced case of stinking thinking. Well, 6 weeks later, I was back in Birmingham, Alabama. I was doing a follow-up sales seminar. Now, the lady was not in sales, but she had been listening to my tapes. She had been listening to Automobile University, and she had discovered that everybody sells. Everybody who will ever hear this is in selling. Whether you're a school teacher, a civil service worker, a military personnel, an executive secretary, it doesn't make any difference. What you do, you sell every day of your life. There she was at the sales seminar, seated on the front row, grinning so wide she could have eaten a banana sideways. I'm telling you, you're talking about somebody that was excited. She was turned on. I said, well, how you done? She grinned even more broadly and said, Mr. Ziglar, I'm doing wonderfully well, and thank you for asking. She said, you cannot believe how much those people down there have changed. I got to lay it on the line, folks. You're not going to change anybody else till you change you. Everything really does begin with you. Now, you see, the unfortunate thing, this lady had been raised in a very negative environment. First, her parents had told her that she'd never amount to anything. They had said, you know, you're always late, you're always sloppy. Why can't you be like your brother or your sister or whatever? When she got married, her husband had continued it. And so her self-talk had become completely negative. Everything that she said about herself was negative. Like Dad said, I'll never amount to anything. Or like my husband says, I can't do anything right. But when she started changing the input, then some radical changes.
Whatever it takes to get you to try harder, read more, set your goals, and go for it. Here's the next attitude disease. Overcaution. Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. Now, you can also be too reckless, but you can also be too cautious. This is called the timid approach to life. And my caution was always the risk. Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. Here's the next attitude disease. We're almost through with this motley list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on. The next one is pessimism. Pessimism, the deadly disease of always looking on the bad side, the problem side, the difficult side, checking all the reasons why it can't be done. The poor pessimist leads an ugly life. He doesn't try to figure out what's right. He tries to figure out what's wrong. He doesn't look for virtue. He looks for faults. And when he finds them, he's delighted. How ugly. This is the poor guy looks through the window, doesn't see the sunset. He sees the specks on the window. And this is the poor guy, right, who rushes up, takes such leave of his senses. This guy rushes up and he says, I've got 5 good reasons why it won't work. He's so dumb, he doesn't know. All he needs 1. He's got 5. To the pessimist, the glass is always half empty. To the optimist, the glass is half full. Why would the same measure affect people 2 different ways? Answer, it all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most. There's a subject we don't have time to get into tonight called better thinking habits. One of the major things Shoaff taught me when I met him, he said, poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shoaff taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. He quoted me a Bible phrase that says, as you think, so you become. How awesome. When he talked about poor thinking habits, he had me. I used to start the day reading the morning newspaper. I mean, you can believe that or not. I'd get a cup of coffee and read the paper. I'd load up on wars and riots and murders and stabbings and killings and bank robberies and muggings and car wrecks and tragedies. I'd even read the back pages. I seem to like that stuff for some weird reason. I'd load up on all that, and then I'd start the day. You can imagine the kind of days I used to have. You walk around on your financial knees. They call you economic peewee. The guy says, I want to be a great leader. Wonderful. The first thing we do is follow him to his house. When we get there, we walk in and check his library. Number 1. Somebody says, well, why check his library? The reason is because what a man reads pours massive ingredients into his mental factory, and the fabric of his life is built from those ingredients. You would not believe what some people have got in their house to read. You would not believe. One of the best dressed up words I know for a lot of it is trash. Can you imagine dumping a barrel of trash into this mental factory every day and coming out with a rich, dynamic, positive life? It can be done. You might as well try making a cake with cement. The kids back in Danbury, Connecticut, high school, they're asking me questions one day. I'm talking to the kids. Kids got good questions these days. One of them said to me, Mr. Rohn, how do you build the good life? I said, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Here's how you build anything. Select the right ingredients, keep out the wrong ingredients, and it starts with thought. Everything starts with thought. So you must be wise and careful what you think about, because that starts everything. You got to be wise and careful. I asked the kids, what would happen if somebody dropped sugar in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be okay. I said, what if somebody dropped strychnine in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 1. Life is both sugar and strychnine. You gotta be careful. I said, what if my worst enemy drops in the sugar? They said, will you be okay? I said, what if my best friend, even by accident, drops in the strychnine? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 2, watch your coffee. You got to be careful. See, it doesn't matter who hands you the bad stuff. It doesn't matter where you get the bad stuff. It'll still do its damage on your bank account, wherever you get it. Mr. Schoaf gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him, when he said, Jim, every day stand guard at the door of your mind. How important. Stand guard at the door of your mind. And you decide what goes into your mental factory. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory, because you've got to live with the results. Okay, here's the last disease, and we're through with this list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on. The last subject is very brief. The last disease, but this one is deadly. Engage in this one, indulge in it even slightly, and you might as well forget the future, because it's going to forget you. Complaining, crying, whining, griping, a Bible word called murmuring. See, that'll ace your future. Spend 5 minutes complaining, and you have wasted 5. And you may have begun what's known as economic cancer of the bone. Surely they will soon haul you off into a financial desert and there let you choke on the dust of your own regret. I hope I said that well, so you won't forget. It's a deadly disease. If you don't think it's bad, ask the children of Israel of Old Testament fame. Typical of us all, their story just happened to get in the book. Story says, children of Israel were slaves. God performed a series of dazzling miracles and got them out. And now they're heading for the promised land. Remember the story? Heading for the promised land. Tragedy of the story, they never got there. Reason. From day one, they started to complain. They griped about the water. They griped about the weather. They whined and cried and griped about the food. They griped about the leadership. They whined and cried because it was too far, too cold, too hot, too difficult, too miserable. I mean, they whined and cried for years. Finally, God said, I've had it. Trip canceled. Or something like that. The story says they died in the desert, never got to the promised land. Which I think means two things. Indulge in this long enough, you get your future canceled. And I guess it also means even God himself can only take so much. Okay. Just be on the lookout of the things that can destroy all the good you start. The war is on. And this evening, tomorrow, mentally, personally, socially, economically, you got to make sure you're winning the war. And this is part of it.
A number of years ago, Larry Majors, my executive assistant, got a phone.
No unity, no power. White power for white people. Black power for black people. 1967. The Black Panther Party. The movement. Freedom.
Let's talk about freedom.
We will not bow down to racism. We will not bow down to injustice. We will not bow down to exploitation. I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna stand.
Now this is time to free your mind and your soul. Yo, our story has never been told. Ladies, you got to demand what you want, and what we want is respect, right?
Come and take a walk with me, close to walk with me, see what only I can see.
This guys. Check this. Watch this.
Turn us loose, set us free from all the chains that bind me. Let us run in our own direction. Let us go, set us free from all this propaganda and lies that your people try to teach us. I know why you would like to bring us down. Because we have all the deals on you. You try to tell us that our lives don't mean anything, but we know so much better, so we're gonna take up the freedom. Freedom for my body, freedom for my mind, freedom for my spirit. All this time you've been telling us these lies, but now we finally figured out yeah, all that we would never wise up, but we'll show the how black female can do. So you continue to keep us oppressed, but now we ain't going out like that. Oh no. All these lies and all this propaganda you want us to change.
We're gonna take freedom from my body, freedom from my mind, freedom from my spirit, freedom from my body, freedom from my heart and my soul. I see the fear in your eyes, surprise, so cover it all. I know just who I am and what I wanna do. I can make you run, make you hide from all your ancestors' transgression that you hold inside. Sister, rising up and sing that our time is here. We're taking back what's been ours for years.
Let the heaven of a sister embrace you. Embrace them all
All
again.
these lies and all this propaganda that you want us to say, we're gonna take out. Freedom from my mind, freedom from my
Ready for Revolution. Welcome to another edition of Class in Session. I'm your brother and friend, Brother Eric Trey Muhammad. I understand there was some glitches on some of the platforms and some of you got knocked off, but hopefully you went to our YouTube channel to watch and participate there live on Believe Television as well as on the Eric Trey Muhammad YouTube channel. So I want to thank you for the honor and the privilege. I want to move quickly through our platform because 9:15 this morning on Team Believe, we have an extraordinary session to undertake on our Believers Huddle at 9:15. So I want to make sure that we're prepared. Class is in session every Monday through Saturday and sometimes Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern on the Eric Trey Muhammad Facebook pages, the Eric Trey Muhammad page on Facebook, We Are Farrakhan page, and the several platforms associated on YouTube. We're very excited about our presence on YouTube these days, and we're looking forward to a tremendous amount of how-to-dos and trainings and teachings on that platform. So 8 a.m. Eastern, class in session Monday through Saturday, and again, sometimes Sunday. And of course, today is our Mighty Monday. It's the day of the power call. The first day of the power call with Dr. Rhonda and Dr. David Hollins. Those two doctors will be there with us at 10:45 a.m. Eastern time in the United States. You can visit us on our platform, www.goldrocks.info. That's www.goldrocks.info. And of course, our sister Cece Mahone, there she goes. Team Audacity in the house. You know, they supply the password there. If you can't decipher what the actual password is, you need to get back to those who introduced this opportunity to you, those that are desirous for you to be there, and that inside you that tells you you should be there. Get back to one to get that password, and let's get started. So at 10:45 a.m., you're going to receive an amazing power call celebration. That power call at 10:45 a.m., that's the one where we inspire, motivate, we encourage, we enlighten, and we celebrate the achievements of others, particularly in this hour where it looks like crisis is abound. It looks like misfortune and fortune both hang in the balance. Not for the wealth builder. We see the power and the benefit in everything that we do, and we can show it to you. So immediately after those two doctors finish that presentation at 10:45, we will at 12 noon have our live global event on the same platform. All roads will lead to this platform at 12 noon. Again, www.goldrocks.info. It requires the same password. Okay, you want to be on that grind today and hear that which would take you from a life of unknown, a life of hopelessness, to a life of pure opportunity and transformation. You want to be on the power call. Okay, and then we're back for the 7 p.m. presentation there, of which you'll get the Spanish translation from our brother Juan Martinez. And then at 9 p.m., we're back with Mr. Michael L. Dalco, the CEO himself. CEO stands for Constantly Empowering Others. Mr. Michael L. Dalco will be with us at 9 p.m. this evening on that platform. Okay, goldrocks.info. You don't want to miss it. And of course, you want to make yourself available to health as well as wealth, and you want to see it simultaneous. I mean, you want to see it as one and the same. That's really what I meant to say. Okay, so it's wonderful to have a wealth constitution, a wealth portfolio. Now let's work on our health portfolio. Today is a very busy day for Brother Eric because I'm under maintenance. I'm under maintenance. I'm going to make sure that I do all I can to show up this metabolism, to show up this body, to show up and prepare it and get it ready for the lifestyle. It requires a balance, folks. And so I'm under maintenance today. You may catch me on the phone, you may not. You may text me and I might respond. I may not. It's because I'm doing everything to shore up the maintenance to provide the best Brother Eric possible. You see, because I want to put my best foot forward in all of it, as including receiving the abundance. I want to be ready to receive, and I want to be ready to share, and I want to be ready to allocate, and I want to be ready to grow it one more again. So I say all that to say that join the protocol that Brother Mustafa and Sister Janetta Muhammad have introduced. Join that protocol to understand how you can remedy or prevent the scourges of COVID-19 and other forms affecting your day-to-day regimen. Roz Range is another wealth proponent, and Roz Range, there she is. Health and wealth is our birthright. Absolutely. And if you understand that simple sentence, then you know what time it is. You might want to get in touch with Roz Range too. Thank you, Sister CC Mahone. That's right. We talk often in our wealth building opportunities about making sure that you put your oxygen mask on first on the plane before you make it available to others. Why? Because as you do that, what happens is that you're better prepared to help someone else in need. All right? I hear you, Brother William Hafiz Bey. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. Increase that bean soup intake. Boy, will my family fight you over that. It's an inside joke in the Teray Muhammad household. Okay, make sure you keep up with Brother and Sister Janetta and Mustafa Muhammad. So I'm moving fairly quick. I want to leave enough time to get set up and get prepared for our presentation in the Believers Huddle. And you're welcome to invite anyone, those of you who have the coordinates, because we're going to talk about understanding cryptocurrency as it relates to Gold Standard Partners. Okay, so just make sure, hey, shout out to you, brother, nephew, Billy Bibb III. All right, so make sure you're a part of it. I love the excitement. I love the energy of Team Believe. I want to thank all of you who rallied around the presentation, the training we did last night on Gold Rocks. I jumped in to assist in the effort to assist, rather, under the request of Brother Michael Eldalco, and we had a great time. We had a great time. One thing that I was not able to do successfully last night was to record the opportunity and share it on to Facebook. So today on Believe Television, Believe TV, there'll be a 3 p.m. debut. That 3 p.m. debut will give you a full training on how to launch your network marketing career in GS Partners. So we're going to do a video training there, and it'll be on our channel. It debuts at 3 p.m. Eastern on Believe TV, hashtag Team Believe. If you go to YouTube and put in a search for that, you'll find it. Subscribe, like, share. We're building a platform for everyone, all believers in themselves will be able to launch a how-to opportunity there. That's our contribution to the Wealth Builders community and to a world that's looking for new solutions, that are looking for new solutions, or rather, new solutions, that's right, for old problems. So we'll be doing that. It'll air today, 3 p.m. Eastern. Share it out far and wide. If you need to see, let me see if I can enlarge that a little bit. There you go. So make sure that you're able to go to YouTube channel, search Believe TV, search hashtag Team Believe. It should come up. Subscribe immediately, like and share, because it will afford you the opportunity of notifications and the ability to access the platform easier as you share it out with other people. So I want to thank you so much for the honor. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So sister's looking for the 915 information, those who have it, and you have direct contact with Sister Zana. I'm going to learn how to say that, I promise you. Then please share it with her. Okay. So take a screenshot. Know where we are. Everything in Wealth Builders is everything Wealth Builders, because we build winners. That's WBW philosophy. That's WBW culture. That's WBW platform. That's W grind, because that's what we do. Because in WBW, all we do is build winners. Peace and power. I will see us all. Believers Huddle, 9:15 forward.
Oh, my people, I want you to understand and know the time. It's time that we are accepted and respected by both man and mankind. You know, the scripture says that God would choose those that are despised and rejected. And we have been that and cast aside. No one wanted us, and no one cared for us. And the worst thing about it, we never cared for ourselves. Oh, but brothers and sisters, it's time now that we fall in love with ourselves and with each other. This world has robbed us of a true guide, but it's time It's time to unite and fight hard for unity. Brothers and sisters, we must live for each other and die for each other, because that's the only way that we're gonna know the meaning of what it is to be free. Then we'll conquer fear and wipe away all our tears. That's the benefit of our unity. Oh, my people, it is written that in the last days God would come after that sheep that was lost, and he has come today, and he has given us Elijah, a man to show us the way out of the ditch of hell. So up, you mighty nation. You know you can accomplish anything that you will. So come on, let's rise again. Yes, let us build again. As our fathers built the pyramids and the Sphinx and all of the great ancient wonders. Let's rise again and build as our fathers used to do. Come on, let's unite. And strive with all our might. Oh, let's fight hard for unity. Brothers and sisters, we must learn to live for each other and die for each other, because that's the only way we're gonna know the joy of being free. We'll conquer fear. Then we'll conquer fear and wipe away all our tears. That's the benefit of our unity. Come on, black man, rise again. And build again. Unity. Rise again. The basis of unity is love. When we love each other, we come into unity with each other. And when we're in unity, we have the strength and the power to overcome all obstacles in the pathway of our freedom. Yes, brothers and sisters, this is the benefit of our unity. So let's rise again. Come on, black man, rise again. Brothers and sisters, come on, let's build again. Little bit of unity, unity.